Hi there, I'm Peter Millard, and this is 10 Minute Workshop, where 10 minutes in the workshop is never enough. In the workshop this week, well, we're still on this big job of mine, but in this week's video, we're going back in time to take a look at one of the larger cabinets in Sapele with a face frame. It's coming up next. So when it comes to the video production process versus the furniture production process, the two are kind of at odds with each other. In terms of furniture, you batch everything together. So you do all the cabinets and the face frames at one time, and then you do the shelves and the uprights and the desk at another. When it comes to the video, you kind of want the bits that are in the same room to come out at the same time, which is why we're going back in time now to take a look at one of the larger cabinets that I made, because it's going in the study, which is where the big shelves are fitting. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself a little bit in this one, because you've already seen the corner cabinet, and I may have talked a little bit about this in the shelves video, but this is the production of how I made the large cabinet for the study. So this particular job is for a sort of a large, substantial refurb, private job, domestic job, up in North London. The ones I'm looking at today are specifically for a study. Now in the study area, there are alcoves either side of a chimney breast, as is perfectly normal in properties of this age, and the clients have already had substantial, sort of chunky, floating shelves fitted in these alcoves. I'm taking some of those out to put a desk in, but then I'm going to enclose one of the alcoves with a cupboard, with a cabinet, from the shelf all the way down to the floor. And the way we do that, the existing shelf, the cabinets have a face frame on them, which is a little different from me. I don't normally do face frame work. There's a skirting board or baseboard underneath it, which is also has a shadow gap on it, and it's very wide. This particular one, it's 11:30 wide, and the cabinets themselves are going to be made out of Sapele veneer, which is a really nice dark hardwood, and it comes up beautifully with a little bit of oil or wax on it. Again, this is all kind of new stuff for me. I haven't really done this kind of thing before, so it's all a journey of discovery. Now, because I'm fitting into existing alcoves, I've made a little template, a little stripwood template, just hot glued together from each alcove. I've got it marked up, study alcove on this one, so we know exactly what the maximum width is that can be, and obviously that goes in that way. That's just to give us the width. The cabinets in this particular room are also all the same height, so we've got a 750mm story stick there as well, and the face frame is going to be constructed of a large baseboard like this, with 50mm face frames up and across the top. And that is simply so that it's easier when it comes to fit the actual baseboard. You can actually fit that in. It has a shadow gap underneath, and then the face frame above it matches all the way round. We'll start by cutting this facing piece to size, and then we'll get the face frame cut and attached. With the template as a guide, it's easy to cut the base of the face frame to size. And then, without moving it, cut the top sections to the same size. And then the side sections, this time using our story stick, and not forgetting to allow for the height of the upper frame. With everything cut, we can mark out for dominoes and make the cuts. Note how I'm stacking the thinner sections together to give more support for the domino base. Then it's onto the glue up in the usual way, plenty of PVA, dominoes and clamps. And as always, checking for square while it's still in the clamps, but movable if necessary. And once set, a good sanding cleans things up nicely. I've had the Sapele veneered boards approximately cut to size, and I'm trimming them back accurately now, then laying them out and marking for dominoes. Okay, so those positions are all marked. We're ready to go with cutting all the dominoes, all the mortises. Obviously you could use dowels instead. I'm using a domino because I've got one. So dominoes at the sides and the ends, dominoes for the base to go into the face frame. I'm actually going to use pocket hole screws through the sides here, just because it's easier if you've got, when you have something that's set back 18mm to centre the domino, and that it's a bit more faffing around than I want to get involved with, and a couple of pocket hole screws will just sort of hold it all together without any problem. But that comes later. All the face frame and all the cabinetry has to be painted first. So yeah, dominoes first. Oh, and the shelf pin holes. Got to get some shelf pin holes in these too. So with everything marked, we can crack on with cutting the dominoes in the cabinet sides. And the pocket holes in the outer faces, and the shelf pin holes on the insides. And finally the matching dominoes in the face frame, and yes, that was all a bit precarious. With the bench cleared, I can slap the cabinet together with dominoes and glue, clamping one corner square this time just to be sure. Then once set, we can offer it up to the face frame, tapping it into position and marking the outside edges for future reference. Then we can quickly cut the back to size, simply taping it in place for the moment. Now it's onto the cabinet door, and I'm marking the inside edges of the face frame onto the board beneath. Then trimming this back with a few millimetres of clearance, then checking the fit within the face frame using my usual plastic packers as gauges. So yeah, that's about as much as I can do for now. The doors to size, fits pretty well. I've got to do the handle cutouts, but I'll do all those at the same time. Cabinet's done, all to size. I've got to get the shelf edge banded, but I need to get a solid lip to go on the front of that. I've ordered some Sapele in for that. But that's the story so far. This is the kind of thing I'm doing kind of day in, day out, and have been for the last few weeks. I've got another 2 of these cabinets to make. One of them is a corner cabinet, so that's a bit more involved, a bit more complex. That's the biggest. The other 2 are a little bit smaller. But where are we? 10 to 5. I'll start doing the other straight one now and see how far we get with that. But that's the story so far. This is the story of my life at the moment, making these sort of, grinding out these sort of cabinets and face frames and stuff. I've got to do all that, and then I've got to get it all painted, and then we can start actually assembling it all into something that looks like cabinets, and then I'll be able to shift it all on site and start fitting it. As I say, I'm not sure if I'll be able to shoot any video of the actual installation. If I can, I will, but if not, well, this is as much as we're going to get so far. So that's the story of that particularly large cabinet. Not a lot more to add to it, really. The door and the face frame fitted pretty well. I managed to get the bow the worst of it out of it. And it worked out quite nicely in the end. Join me next week when we start getting into the installations in the study. So that cabinet and the big shelves and the desk all coming together in the one room. But that's everything for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.